Thank you so much for downloading the episode. On the show today, I recap my weekend with Producer Dub in San Francisco, where we enjoyed Casey Musgraves and far too many cocktails. This, along with bad hair and bullying, and some hilarious H-Uglee and Awkward Moments of the week. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
Oh my God, my baby!
Paula?
Don't be looking for anything, okay? Let's just get this over with.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. This is episode 347.
We are Sisters Who Podcast.
Yes, we are. So Mackenzie, my 23-year-old, she has been putting off lab work. Now that she's adulting, when you go to an adult doctor, they require you to do lab work to check your blood levels to see if you're anemic, blah, blah, blah. She's put it off for a good 3 months.
Oh.
And the doctor is like, yeah, you need to get this done. And so she called me in the middle of her appointment and said, Mom, will you take me to get my blood work done tomorrow? Because the doctor's like, why don't you ask your mom to take you? Because she was kind of anxious because she's never had to get lab work as an adult. I mean, when you're a kid, they used to do it at the pediatrician.
Yeah.
No, they don't do that anymore.
Why is everyone so afraid of lab work? I don't get it.
Well, I just think the idea of blood draw, but I thought I was kind of giggling in my head because I'm like, you just went through this. You just went through this yourself with your child.
Saga.
Yes, and it's why is it such a drama? So anyway, I said, well, look, I have a lot going on tomorrow before noon, but if you want to come around 8 a.m. because the lab opens at 7, I'll be happy to take you. And she's like, okay. So she rolled in around 8, and I'm upstairs, and and now. Here's the other thing is Producer Dub is due for some blood work.
Oh.
That he's been putting off for quite some time. And he puts it off because just when, because you have to be fasting, but, it just so happens every time they call and say, hey, it's time for you to get your blood work done. He's had like really bad diet, or he's been drinking a lot of beer or eating a lot of pasta, something that can affect the levels in his blood.
So he's trying to stump the system or something like that?
Well, he just wants his body to be as clean as possible so we can get an accurate reading of the levels. And I get it. He's not trying to cheat.
How is that accurate if that's not what he eats?
Because he doesn't eat like that all the time. So it just so happens he'll go on a binge and they'll go, hey, you gotta get your blood work done. He's like, God damn it. He's like, the one time I decided to have a cheat weekend, and I'll tell you all about it. We went to San Francisco for the weekend and we were incredibly indulgent. And so our bodies are not in prime condition right now for blood work to determine anything.
Right.
So he's kind of just waiting for it to clear out. Well, it's been 3 days. He can get it done. So I said, hey, Mackenzie's on her way. He had a call in the morning, and I said, when is that call over? And he said, oh, it got postponed till tomorrow. I'm like, okay, great. Then you and Mackenzie are gonna go get your work done today. Well, I can't do it. Well, why not? Well, because I didn't fast. I go, it's 8 a.m. You didn't eat anything. What, did you eat something after 8 o'clock last night? He's like, well, didn't we eat at like 10 o'clock last night? I'm like, no, we didn't. We ate at like 8. I mean, it was a little late, but I'm like, by the time you get in, it'll be 12 solid hours. And I said, and coffee doesn't count. We know this. And, because that was
Does he drink black coffee or?
Yes.
Oh.
So I said, you can do it. He goes, well, I have to shower. I'm like, God damn it. Fine. I will take Mackenzie. Jesus fucking Christ. If you don't want to get your blood work done, fine. But I just figured we could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I go, you're ridiculous. And so then he comes storming up here and he's like, I need to shower. I haven't showered in 15 hours. I'm like, fine, take your shower. I said, I will take her. He's like, no, I'll do it. I have to go get my paperwork. And he hates it when I talk like that because he's like, I do not sound like that. I'm like, it's a universal speech for all men who are being dumb, okay? We all use it. So he's angrily washing.
Because it's all about the fact that he hates getting his blood drawn.
Yes. And I said, do you want me to go with you? And he's like, wow, no. I'm like, all right. I'm like, it's only, I'm literally trying to shove in like 4 things before noon today. So I'm just trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That's really all I'm trying to do.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, they're going to both go to the same place. He needs to get it done anyway.
Yes. So I said, how's Kenzie? He goes, well, I really think she wasn't real happy that you weren't going to be going with us. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you know what? Now I'm really not going. Like, I'm really not going.
God.
So I go downstairs and I see Mackenzie. Now, this is a girl who's had tattoos done, by the way. This is not a woman who never had a needle touch her skin before. In my mind, I'm like, what's the big deal? I mean, this woman has sat for tattoos before. This is not that bad.
This is definitely much more sterile and trained.
Anyway, so they go, and Mackenzie Snapchatted the entire thing.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Yes. And Dad, of course, was out of his mind. He's like, why would you do that? So they both survived. Everything worked out just fine. And they made it through. I could not believe how difficult he was being about going. It was insane. I'm like, obviously you don't want to do this. And I said, and you were going to go tomorrow and you have a call now because they postponed it till tomorrow. So it worked out, right? It worked out. He was not happy with me.
Well, I mean, you know, if you didn't tell him to go, then he would just never go.
Exactly. And Malia and I were downstairs. I was getting some coffee after they had left. And I said, Malia, when I die, you have to make Dad get his blood work because he's not going to do it. I'm the only reason he gets it done regularly. I'm telling you.
Well, it sounds like he's the one that's probably going to die first.
And that's what I said. I go, and actually, he probably will die before me at this rate. But anyway, moving on, Daryl and I went to San Francisco for the weekend, and we just really went because we wanted to see this show on Saturday night, Casey Musgraves, which, as you know, won all the Grammys. And on top of it, I found that somebody I went to high school with was also going. And so we were going to try to meet up at some point to say hello to each other. And what I hate is that because of social media, you don't realize how long it's been since you've seen someone in person because you know so much about one's life because we're all pretty active on social media that it doesn't feel like it's been as long as it's been.
Right.
Then I see him and it literally feels like it's only been a day since I've seen him because we talk on social media all the time. And he's like, do you know it's been since like high school? And I'm like, shut up. No.
Wow.
No, it hasn't. And he's like, yes, it has. I'm like, oh my God. And he lives 10 minutes away. That's the good thing about social media.
Yeah, definitely.
So we decided we would do something fun. Now, he's been working a ton and then he was sick all through the holidays. And so we definitely needed it. And it was super fun to do. So we stayed at the Ritz in Nob Hill, which was super nice. And we walk in, I'm like, God, this is super fancy. I felt really weird about it.
God.
Anyway, so we're going to see Casey Musgraves. Now, I think I've told you about this in the past. Whenever we go anywhere for an event or anything like that, Daryl has no problem. It's only around the corner. We can just walk it. We don't need to drive. Have I ever told you that?
No, but I don't walk. I would be like, okay, I'll see you there. I'm getting an Uber.
Right. So the show is at the Masonic, which is, according to Daryl, 90 feet away. He said a car won't even pick us up. And I said, are you sure?
I don't believe that.
I go, I'm looking at that hill and that's a straight incline. Like that's a straight upward, like a mountain.
I'd be like, in your loafers, it's fine. In my high heels, that's a different story.
Well, I was wise. And since it's somewhat of a country rock show, I wore like combat boots because I knew we'd be, and we're standing. So I did not do that. Now, we also were going to stop at I believe it's the Fairmont Hotel. They have a place called the Tonga Room, which is iconic. Tiki. Everybody loves it. It's just, you got to go and enjoy it. And I've never been, and I've had recommendations. Oh, you got to go. It's so fun. So I said, well, let's go to the Tonga Room. So a friend of mine said, if you're going to go, there's no reservations. If you can't get a table, just go to the bar. Because at least you can get in there and you can see everything. You can have a cocktail, enjoy the atmosphere, whatever. And I said, all right. We leave and I said, okay, are you sure? He goes, Jamie, they won't even pick us up. It won't even be worth the time. I said, fine, we'll walk. I was winded, and I mean winded. And here's the thing. I'm cool. Like once the adrenaline kicks in, because I do the elliptical and I go at a pretty steep incline.
Yeah.
I can handle it. It wasn't like I was struggling, like I couldn't take another step, but it was very steep. And because they said, they're like, well, our hotel's on the side of a mountain, so you have to go all the way to the top to get to the top of the mountain. And they call it a mountain, the hill, Knob Hill. It's the top of the hill. And so I said, all right. So we go up. And you know what I really hate is that there are people who live, there's really lovely apartments around there. These women are coming out and they're just like briskly fleeing up the hill because they do it every day.
Oh my God, their thighs must be huge.
They are very in shape. They're very in shape, which is great. And, you know, like I said, I was handling it, but I was getting winded. And I was like, this is not 90 feet. This is a lot. So we go up and Daryl's acting like he's fine. And I said, I guess I'm the only fat blob who can't make it up the hill. Of all the people in the city, I'm the only one, apparently. So we get to the Tonga room and there is a freaking line out the door. And I said, you know why I don't like doing that? Because I feel good now and I could definitely climb the rest of the way, no problem. But I am hot and sweaty now. And we are going to a show and I don't want to look like that. My hair's flat. You know, it's like, come on. So
yeah, my makeup's all tacky.
And so I said, I don't like this sticky, cold face, cold hands, because it was frigid.
We should have got the damn car.
Paula, seriously. And there were cars picking people up there.
Of course there were.
So we get in, there's a long ass line, but we get into the bar and the Tonga room is, it looks a lot like the Tiki room at Disneyland, basically.
Oh God.
So there's like pirate ships and, you know, masks and bamboo everywhere, and it's humid because there's a pool in the middle of the restaurant.
It's like a 3-year-old Jake and the Neverland Pirates birthday party.
Right. And the wait to get a table was 2 hours.
Why?
And we got there really what we thought was early. We got there at like 7. So we had a Mai Tai and we had something called a zombie, and they were good and we enjoyed it. And then I turn and there's a rookie woman on a date. And she wore high heels. Mm-hmm. She had them off. And she was barefoot in a bar.
That's disgusting.
Can you even imagine? And
I really couldn't, to be honest.
I turned and I saw her bare feet. And I look up at her and I'm like, are you kidding me? And I must have been very aware. Or she was made very aware of me. I don't know. Maybe it was just like perfect timing. And she saw me and she had to avert her eyes. Because she knows how dumb she looks. And I was like, wow, you are really risking it. You are in a San Francisco bar with no shoes on. I mean, really,
she must have
really
just
brave.
taken that hill and was in utter desperation.
I understand, but haven't we been through this? People, put the ballet flats in your purse. I mean, come on. Any kind of covering is better than that.
Wear a pair of socks.
Right. Seriously, Paula, I would have accepted it. I'd be like, well, at least she understands bacteria.
Because that's all you want, is to have sticky feet for the rest of the night.
Anyway, so we left and I said, oh, so more hill climbing is in our future. We were 2 drinks in at that point. We had stopped and had a cocktail earlier. I just had a glass of champagne and Daryl had a whiskey something. And so now officially we're 3 drinks into the evening. And so we go up the rest of the hill and I'm hostile because we're continuing. He goes, you can literally see it right there. And I was like, ah. He goes, look, it's flat now. It's flat now.
I'm like, stop talking to me.
Like, fine. And he's trying to hold my hand. I'm like, I'm not holding your hand.
No.
I'm like, I can't hold my hand and walk swiftly. Stop it. And I said, how come you're not windy? He goes, well, I had to walk slow for you.
I would have turned around and pushed him back down the hill.
I am not ashamed of the fact that I can't walk long strided like a man, okay? I just walk slow. And you know what?
We have little legs.
We do have little legs. And here's the other thing. When Daryl and I took Malia to Disneyland, every year we do this. He's walking like he's on a mission from God.
That's how Victor walks.
Malia and I are walking behind, and Malia's like, she started getting kind of like emotional. I go, what's the matter? She goes, Dad's just walking so fast. I go, let him go. Let him go. We'll just walk at our own pace. And so Malia and I are walking at a leisurely pace. Daryl's like half a football field ahead of us. He turns around and he looks at us like, what's going on? And we're like, well, we're walking like normal humans. You're walking like you're on your way to an emergency. So, you know,
That's That's how it was with Victor when we were in Disneyland. He had like the backpack and like all the drinks and everything.
Yes.
And he was like literally walking like a man on a mission, you know, like he was walking through a combat zone in Afghanistan, and
Looking
the rest
for
of
wounded.
us were behind him. And then he turns around and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And I'm like, "Well, we're being a family. If you want to join us, you know, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're really not in a hurry to get where it is that you think you're going."
I don't know. It's like, I guess the mindset of a man, it's like we have a mission. We have to get from point A to point B.
That's what it is. You
as
give them a
efficiently as
mission
possible.
and they're off.
Give me a task and I'm on it.
They're
Yeah,
very task-oriented.
I think that's what it is. They're not really into lollygagging.
No.
Even on vacation. It's just not their
Just
thing.
like,
It's
well,
like,
let's go to the Matterhorn. We're off to the Matterhorn, you know?
and it's like, move. Yeah, it's true. That's how they are. Anyway, so we finally get to the Masonic. And we get in and we are feeling no pain. We're in a good mood. We're just liquored up enough that we're happy. You know that feeling?
Yeah.
So we go up and we find, now the thing with the Masonic is there's several bars, but the ones downstairs are going to be obviously the most crowded. And we learned from, we've seen a couple of shows there, so we've learned if you go upstairs, there's a huge bar upstairs that nobody ever goes to. So we go upstairs, there's literally nobody there. They're just standing around waiting.
Well, that's cool.
They're all, come to us. So we come over, we're like, hello. And she goes, what can I get you? And I said, I don't know, gin and tonic. And she goes, okay, great. And I turned to Daryl and I said, oh my God, I've been drinking rum. Do you think I should do the gin? And by this time it's too late. And she goes, do you want a double? And I said, yes, please. And Daryl goes, what? And I said, what? I don't want to like have a baby drink. I would rather just have one strong drink and that'll be good for me. And so we go downstairs. The show starts. Now we have GA, so we walk down and he was hammered.
Oh my
at this
God.
point. And so we lost each other a couple of times and he kept getting mad like I was the one doing it. I said, no, it's not me. I'm like, I didn't do anything. At some point we drank more alcohol. I barely remember.
Oh
I don't
my
even
God.
I don't even remember.
So you were literally like 6 drinks deep.
Yeah, I had a beer. He goes, and I looked at the text message I got. I'm like, okay, well, I asked for a Stella at some point. So he brought beer and we drank those.
Gross.
And we had such a good time though. And then afterwards, my friend found me. I heard my name, Jamie. And I was like, oh my God. And that's when, you know, we had the little reunion, which went really well, I hope, because
the picture looked okay.
Thank God, right? Doesn't my eye look closed?
I didn't really look that close.
Okay, good. I looked at it and went, well, at least my hair looks all right. I was like, I couldn't believe it because before we got to the hotel, the picture had posted. And I said,
Yeah.
God, you know, I mean, not even a moment to prepare. And it's on there. But it was actually a great picture. And it was really great to see him. And I'll tell you about my awkward moment next week. But
Good.
of course, because there was one. Anyway, it was a great weekend. And the next day we went to the De Young Museum to see the Monet, and that was super fun. And then
How did you guys feel the next day?
really good because we got back to the hotel and had a hamburger at like midnight. The only other thing that happened was when we got home, obviously obligatory hotel sex because you have to.
Oh, right.
And then at some point we were laying there. It must have been like 2 or 3 in the morning, and we were laying there, and we got into an argument.
Could you even feel anything at that moment? I mean, my God.
No, not me.
Sometimes when you're that drunk, it's just kind of like, what are we doing? What are you doing?
It felt amazing, but there was no way in hell anything was going to happen on my end.
Yeah, no, that's...
No. I mean, no. There was not going to be a big ending for me.
Don't be looking for anything, okay? Let's just get this over with.
I mean, I wasn't that laxed about it, but I told him before we even started, I said, look, I just hope you're not expecting any big show because there ain't going to be one. I know myself. Sometimes even after 2 glasses of wine, it's over. So I'm just saying that we're 6 or 8 drinks in. It ain't happening. So after our, required hotel sex, we're laying there in the dark of night. And when they do obviously they do turn down service at this fancy place. And so the radio was on.
Where they pull the bed down and put a chocolate on your pillow?
They didn't do chocolate, but what they did do is they give you a little bottled water, and then they turn on the radio to a very nice contemporary, like Mix 96 type channel.
Delilah.
Yes. And they lower the lights and everything's kind of ready for you to go to bed. And so we walk in and go, oh yeah, that's right. Turn down service. So anyway, we're laying there and they have this really fancy iHome radio and it's on and I'm listening and we're listening to it. And I said, I guess I better turn the radio off. And he's like, why? You can leave it on. I said, oh no. The reason that we don't listen to the radio at night anymore is because of you. And he said, what are you talking about? I said, when we first started dating and sleeping together, you said that you couldn't sleep with the radio on. And so I had to not listen to the radio at night anymore.
Oh, and you used to listen to the radio all night long.
All night. And then I said, I don't want a TV in our room. And you immediately put a TV in our room, which has been in our room since then and has never not left. And he's like, I never said you couldn't listen to the radio. And I said, hold on, Honcho. Yes, you did. And so we started having this huge ass argument in the dark. And he's laughing because I can hear him. He's got cotton mouth now because we're getting past. He's all, listen, he's like, I want to say that if I did say these things, that I didn't mean it. And I said, it would literally kill you to apologize, wouldn't it? It would kill you to apologize that you killed my love for listening to the radio at night. I regret if I did. I don't remember. I'm like, oh my God, you sound like my mother. Stop it. Because, mom can't apologize for our childhood to save her life. And so...
Oh, she just deflects or says she doesn't remember.
I don't remember that. If I did that, I regret it. No, she's like, I regret if anything like that hurt you.
That's
if
true.
You felt that if this is your truth. So
I hate that.
He was pulling that crap on me. And I said, you... ruined my evening of listening to the radio. So I said, I'm turning down this radio. He goes, don't turn it down. I said, I will never listen to the radio again with you in the room. It was crazy. It was crazy. He woke up. He goes, I started laughing because I'm like, we were literally, our eyes were closed and we were having this argument about the radio in the middle of the night. We were laughing so hard about it the next day. Anyway, so overall, it was a hilariously fun weekend. We had a good time. And I'm glad we did it because we really needed to get away. And so done and done. So anyway, next, you and I, okay, we'll briefly discuss why this came up.
I have the article ready.
Just give me the highlights and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. So in Willis, Texas, there was a 5-year-old kindergartner. And she apparently, they're not saying how it happened or why it happened, but she apparently had a short haircut. And
okay, she got her haircut super short.
Right. And she was getting bullied and teased, and everyone was saying that she looked like a boy. And so her teacher noticed that she had been depressed about it. And so the teacher decided that the teacher had long hair, like down to her butt. So she decided to cut her hair really short like the little girl. And it turned into this big, like, newsworthy thing. It went to, like, the Department of Education where they gave the teacher a medal and, for bravery or something. I don't really know what it was. But, it was just a big damn thing. And it irritated the crap out of me because I'm just like, it was a bad haircut.
Yeah.
Let's not exploit this any further than necessary because growing up, I had plenty of bad hair problems.
Oh, for sure.
Our parents, I don't even recall times getting my hair officially cut. I saw a meme once that says, once you're born, your parents automatically become hairstylists.
That is so true. That is so true.
Dad literally put bowls on our heads and cut around it.
I know. When I knew we were going to be talking about bad haircuts from childhood, and I finally came to the realization, I came to the conclusion that our father was sadistic and that he did it on purpose.
Clearly,
I think he did it on purpose. I think he got great delight in messing up our bangs or our hair. I remember
if he couldn't abuse us at home, then he wanted to know that we were being abused during the day.
So, not talking about myself yet, but do we all recall the haircut that he gave our sister Allison? Do you remember that? She
looked like a bird.
Allison has very thick, lustrous black hair. It is the most Mexican thing about her. The problem was the way Allison slept and stuff. She would have mats in the back of her hair every freaking morning.
Well, and she wasn't the best at brushing it.
And we were all tasked with detangling her hair every day.
Ow!
We had detangler.
And she had like the most sensitive head.
Oh my God. It was, and we all, not you maybe, but Stephanie and I, or mom, and mom never had time. So it was one of us having to detangle her hair.
And of course, Stephanie had no patience. So she would just rip at it.
Oh God, no, I never did that. I first of all, I completely sympathize with her because I'm pretty sure that the brushes that our mother used on me were made of porcupine quills. I mean, they were
the brushes
so
we
strong.
had, they were like dishwashing scrubbies.
It was
you know
so
what I'm
harsh.
talking about?
Yes, they were so harsh.
And then they automatically gave you flyaways.
And not
You know
only
what I mean?
that, but mom was, she was doing the Mexican thing where our hair was, tightly braided. Very tightly ponytailed or braided. There was not a hair out of sight, at least for me. I
think that's why we got migraines.
I have little baby hairs, like, little Mexican baby hairs along this, my, the hairline.
Yeah.
And that's really cute, but she didn't want that. So, we're talking, I used to get the Dep gel. My mom would get the Dep gel and just, in my hair. And that thing, you should see the school pictures. My hair looked great, but I looked surprised all the time because
you had these giant fluffy bangs, and then there was nothing after that.
I know, it's true. So Allison gets, I don't know how mom was convinced to allow our father to take Allison to get her hair cut.
I don't know that mom had a choice or that.
I don't know, man.
I think that's just how she was returned.
She had a lob, essentially, when she left. And when she came back, she had Pat Benatar hair. And Allison came out. She was hiding in the back of the truck bed. And Dad goes, "Hey, 1, 2, 3." And Allison pops up off the back of the truck bed, says, "Ta-da!" like that. And Mom immediately starts crying. And she's like, "Oh my God, my baby! What have you done?" She had no hair. And Stephanie and I look at each other and we start laughing, of course, because we're horrible. And we both are like, "She looks like Frankenstein." We were so mean. We're like, "Oh my God." Mom literally bought her hats, like cute little hats to wear because it was so bad.
So
what person would do that to a child? What hairdresser?
She was only like 8.
She was very young.
It was literally like the haircut you would give to like a 50-year-old, 60-year-old woman.
It was the early 80s, like 81, 82. And so, Pat Benatar wasn't even a thing yet.
I'm trying to think who had that haircut.
Frankenstein?
I can't even think of like a celebrity that was familiar at the time that had that haircut.
Paula, I don't know. But Dad did have a thing about emulating celebrity hair.
He had this particular album of this no-name woman. I don't know. She wasn't even famous. And he always wanted Wendy to look like her. But Wendy always cut her hair short. And I remember one time Wendy came home and Dad called her an owl.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I remember that. I've told you the story about when I was in 5th grade. And I remember this because that's when I had a lot of really good friends that, of course, I lost immediately when I had to go to a different high school.
Yeah.
That was when I was developing a lot of friendships. And so Dad had cut my bangs because they needed to be cut. They were too long. And so he cut them and I had like 1-inch bangs. And they were also like, it looked like he used a rusted razor to cut them. They were so ridiculous. We never
had hair cutting scissors. Usually it was just whatever scissors we could find in the junk drawer.
I'm pretty sure he used like shears or something from the lawn. It was so jagged.
My kids, they're just like, "Mom, don't use the Puffleberry scissors," which is the ones that we use to cut the poop off the dog's butt.
Oh my God, please don't.
Now I'm like, "No, those are the blue ones." I'm like, "These are my pink sewing scissors. They'll be fine."
Yes. And so he cut them and I was so humiliated that I had a gray felt cowboy hat. And I don't even know where I got it, but I had it and I liked it. Well, back then they were super strict about wearing hats in class.
Yes.
So I walked in trying to be cool. And I sat down and just didn't acknowledge anyone. And of course, the teacher was like, Jamie, you need to remove your hat and put it in your cubby. And I said, what are you talking about? And she's
You're
like, the
I'm
hat.
not going to do that.
The hat. And I said, I really don't think I should. And she's like, take that hat, walk it over there and put it. And so I got up slowly, because I knew it was coming. So I took the hat off, put it in my cubby, and then I slowly turned around. Huge bursts of laughter. The entire class started laughing at me because of my bangs. I, of course, started crying immediately because who wouldn't,
Right.
And then finally the teacher, who now I can recall very vividly, was trying not to laugh. She's like, class, it's just a haircut. Let's all relax. No big deal. And so I sat down, with my hand. I literally sat with my hand on my forehead as much as I could. I was so embarrassed. I was humiliated. And so by the end of the day, nobody cares anymore. And then they
move on.
No, and then the next day, 5 people showed up with cowboy hats. It became a trend.
So awesome.
It became a trend. I mean, I would have been better off wearing like a headband or something, but we didn't have headbands at home. So I just did the best thing. So ultimately, this dumb little situation, the teacher should have been like, hey, everybody's hair gets cut. Ain't no thing. Chill out. And
Stop
just be done with it.
calling her a boy. She's obviously not a boy.
Yeah, that's inappropriate. In fact, that's what she should say. It's inappropriate to call somebody something that they're not. Let's stop with it and be done with it. And it would have been resolved, and we probably would have moved on with our lives. And it would have made the girl a little bit tougher, for sure.
I don't know. That's just the thing is we're raising a society of children to have like zero backbone. And it bugs the shit out of me.
I can tell you what, my children are not like that. I refuse.
Children are. And I have give them plenty of ammo. Plenty. And they will not say the things that I have told them.
Yeah.
I have told Olivia countless times. I said, if someone picks on you or does something, tell them that they are poor and stupid and that their parents don't love them. And she's like, Mom, I'm not going to say that. I'm like, why? She's like, I'll get in trouble. I'm like, with who? And she's like, the teacher. And I'm like, you will be in more trouble with me if you don't. And so this has been going on for years.
I think you need to find a different route, because this is telling her the mean things that you would say is obviously not working.
Then she got pushed like in the shoulder really hard the other day by a boy.
Yeah.
Because he said he was tagging her, but like he literally like almost punched her in the shoulder. And so I'm like, what did you do? And she's like, nothing. And I'm like, Olivia?
See, that's different. That's a personality thing. That's not a school thing. That's a kid thing.
And she's a bit of a tattletale, which I told her. I said, if I hear you telling on someone one more time.
She's an informant.
She is. And then she said, now she's getting creative because I told her she can't tell anymore. Because I told her snitches get stitches. So she said something about back to the kids. She's like, you can't do da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, real loud.
And then the yard duty just happened to overhear her. And I'm like, did you say it loud enough so the yard duty would hear you? And she's like, yes. And I'm like,
so she's finding a loophole.
She is. And I'm just like, Olivia, I'm like, do you think I'm dumb? Do you think I don't know this game?
So she's not confrontational, but she will find a way to get them punished.
She just thinks it's her responsibility to keep an eye on everyone.
That's so crazy. Well, that has nothing to do with bullying or bad hair, but she will learn.
That doesn't.
That's going to work itself out. Those things tend to work themselves out in the schoolyard. So we'll see. So
I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So we've kind of covered the bad hair. The only thing I would go further with that is our sister Stephanie had a cowlick. We all actually have cowlicks.
Yeah, we do.
But she hated her so much, and I think she got made fun of a lot.
Well, she had hers on the front, like, I want to say right-hand corner of her bangs.
Yes, of her brow, of her hairline, right on the top of her hairline. And so it would stick out, and there was nothing you could do about it. Like, nothing you could do.
Not the amount of hairspray or gel
even if she grew it out, nothing. It was just this big pop-up thing.
She still has it. Like, if you look at pictures when she has her bangs down, her bangs like start at they go at like a 20-degree angle.
Yeah, you're right. It's true. But she finally decided to take matters into her own hands. And she shaved her head of it clear down to the scalp.
She shaved the cowlick, yeah.
And Mom was like, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, just the cowlick area. And Mom's like, why did you do that? She goes, I was sick of it. And she goes, it's literally going to grow back like straight up now. And she's like, I'll just deal with it as that happens. And of course,
like, I'm just going to keep shaving it.
Yeah, that did not last. And so it immediately started growing back. And it was like a plant had shot up out of the soil straight up. And it was like, she's like, what am I going to do? And Mom's like, I told you.
Oh, no. Did you ever have one of your kids cut their own hair?
Tyler took scissors to his hair and cut it all over. All of it.
All over? Okay,
yep.
Ryan cut his hair in one spot. How old was Tyler when he did it?
8, 9.
You know what? That was about the same age Ryan did it. When did you notice? Right away? Or?
Oh, yeah. Well, he said something. He's like, Mom, look. I'm like, oh, my God. There are pictures of Tyler where his head is shaved because I had no other option. I'm like, your beautiful hair. I had to shave it. I hated it.
I didn't notice it right away. We were at the gym when Victor was in Afghanistan, and I was attempting to go to the gym. And,
I remember that time, that one day.
Yeah, that brief period of time.
Yes.
Ryan had been at the little kid place, and he was tying his shoes, and his head was bent down. And I noticed there was like a little hunk of hair, or like a little divot of hair on his front that looked like it was missing.
You're like, what is that?
And I'm like, Ryan? He's like, yeah, Mom, did you cut your hair? And he looked up at me. He's like, yes. I said, why? And he's like, I don't know. And sometimes they never know. I get mad at myself when I ask questions like that because I'm like, I know the answer to this.
Yeah, why are you asking? He's not going to say, oh, well, I just felt I needed a trim. And so
I think I asked him, like, when did you do that? So he's like yesterday.
Jeez.
I was bored.
That's funny. Okay, so we need to move forward. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. So I have some hilarious H-Uglee and Awkward Moments of the week. Bad hair edition. I went to college in New York City. Due to that and assorted other factors, I was both aware of and concerned about my appearance, and also very poor. I went to one of those cheap salons to dye my hair once. I think it was about $40, and they ended up having to dye it 3 times. The first time it was green. The second time it was purple, and by the third time my hair was bleach blonde and fried. How does that even happen?
Trying to achieve, I wonder.
I assume blonde, but who knows? I was told
had bleach blonde fried hair before.
Yeah. I was told not to wash it for as long as possible so it wouldn't break. Oh my God. I waited an entire week, shampooed, conditioned, dried, and thought I was okay until I spotted an inch-long segment sticking up straight in the back. There was one lonely chunk of hair that just broke off at about the spot where my old roots had ended. For a long time, my friends called it my angry inch. And that's what you get for paying $40 for a bleach dye job, by the way.
We used to do the frosting cap at our house with a little frosting, the frosting kit.
Yeah, where you get a crochet needle and you thread your hair through the hole.
Pull your hair through that. That thing hurts so freaking bad.
It's not natural.
No, it's not right. But I think Mom still uses it. But
no! Oh my God.
I'm positive she does.
You know what? I have literally paid $400. I've paid so much money for that woman to go to a decent stylist, and she just refuses.
Don't waste it. No
I'm
one
not.
will ever be able to do her hair.
I know.
But
she doesn't think
as good as she does, I guess.
She just doesn't think it exists. It's so weird.
It's an anxiety OCD thing for her.
You know, I was reading through all of these moments, these ugly and awkward moments for hair, and shockingly, women specifically can easily be traumatized by a bad hair situation, even in their youth. Like, I remember I had really long hair, like down to the back of my middle of my back. Mm-hmm. And mom decided that I was 11 at the time, and that it was time to have more grown-up hair. So she had our friend Hope cut it.
Yeah.
And it was right above the shoulders. So she took a good 12 or 15 inches off.
At least.
I felt like a shaved poodle. I hated it. And then I went somewhere else once, and I had my hair, when I was working professionally for the first time, and a mentor said that I needed a more professional haircut. And so he sent me to his wife's stylist. And it was so thin and short. I felt like a PTA mom, and I was not a PTA mom. And I said, this is not, I mean, it wasn't the worst haircut, but I was really uncomfortable with the length. Mm-hmm. And so when I finally went to the stylist that I have now, I literally started crying the first time he suggested a haircut, because I was so afraid. It's just hair. It grows back. But when you have traumatizing things happen in your life,
right.
And it's about trust, really. Yeah. I think that's why these women, you know, that's why it's so hard to allow someone else to do it, because they always fuck it up. Something like that must have happened to our mother.
Yeah, I don't really know what it is, because she's been to at least 50 different stylists.
Oh, man. Well, I've repeatedly discussed the time that I treated her to a spa day and had her hair done.
Didn't she walk out and throw her check on the counter?
She showed me her hair and she goes, Jamie? And I said, what? My hair looks like shit. And she got up out of the chair, and the poor girl standing there shocked. She ripped off the gown and walked up to the counter, and she goes, oh no, I am not leaving without paying for this monstrosity. And she paid and threw the check, and we walked out. I never went back. Never went back to that place.
I don't blame you. I don't think I'd ever be able to show my face there.
I'm like, I left and I said, Mother, I go, most of the women on television come to the salon. It's a really high reputable place. And she's like, well, it shows. Look at me. I look like I'm ready to do the weather. And I went, okay. I don't know what you were looking for. I mean, I have a helmet. And she kept trying to fix it. I'm like, stop fixing it. You're making it worse. And then she just walked out. I went, okay.
I don't know what she wants, honestly.
She wants to do it the way she wants to do it. Done and done. You know, there's nothing we can do. It's over. She's not embarrassing looking. She looks great, but I'm just saying.
Not, but I mean, I'm sure there's a stylist that could do a very decent job.
I'm sure. Okay, number 2. This one's really funny. When I was in 5th grade, I wanted to get rid of my bangs. Instead of growing them out like you're supposed to, my friend and I cut them all the way off, like to my hairline.
Oh my God.
I had weird little baby bangs forever. It was awful, and my mom wouldn't let me be friends with that girl anymore.
Oh my gosh. I never understood the people that had, like, the emo people who had those tiny little short bangs.
Baby bangs. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was weird.
It's an extreme look. It's an extreme look. Not for me, but yeah. Not
for me.
No. In fact, I'm kind of over bangs. I don't think that's a journey I'm willing to be on anymore. So I'm over it.
I do long bangs, like where they can be swept, like to the side or something.
That's just called a layer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my daughter has bangs right now, and I mean, it works for her, but I don't think she needs them personally. But you know, all women go through a phase where they want bangs to hide something, you know, or something. So
probably want them to hide the wrinkles on my forehead.
You don't have wrinkles on your forehead. Don't be ridiculous.
I need to do something with my eyes.
Well, we all do. Our mother's had a lift, so I feel like that's our permission.
I know, but hers was like medically necessary. Maybe I'll just tell the doctor I can't see outside of my peripheral.
Everything she's done is quote unquote medically necessary, Paula.
My breasts are starting to sag, and it's causing
back pain.
Yes.
I
think I need an implant.
Mom had the very first deviated septum in California, so she had to have a nose job. So
I was so upset when I went to go because I do have a deviated septum actually, and they can fix it, but they said that they won't do the nose job. They're not allowed to do that anymore.
why?
They said that the insurance company's caught on and they are not going to let that happen. And so it's a separate code. And so they said if I could come up with $3,000, they'll do it while they're in there.
That's not that much. You can
I
max
mean,
out.
it really isn't.
You can max out a credit card for that. It'd be worth it.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
I don't think you need one. I should preface, but I know it's something that you've always wanted to do. So, since you were like 17.
since I was like 12.
Okay.
Let's be honest.
That's true.
It just started growing like an old man.
Oh my God, stop it. Okay, so we
It's
need
only
to
gonna get worse. Okay, go ahead.
we need to say goodbye.
Oh, thank you everybody for joining us. If you want to switch your makeup over to the pastels for the springtime, then please go to lipandclip.com. Check out our Avon selection. They have lots of fabulous things, definitely pastels, and lighten your makeup, even though it's been really crappy weather. But
I'm so sick of it.
maybe it'll put you in the mood to feel more springy. So,
Yeah, maybe.
Puxatony Phil said it was going to be a short winter, so I believe him.
I'm freezing. That's all I know.
With that said, have a fabulous rest of your week, and we will see you on Sunday. Bye!
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.